Oh, yeah. Hey. Boo-boo-ba-doo-doo. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Untethered Live on a Friday night, the 4th of July. Tonight, we celebrate our Independence Day right here on Untethered Live. I'm your host, Jake Johnson. Tonight, we are kicking it off wild and crazy, and we have a little finale for the end of our show. It is our Independence Day spectacular, and I hope you join us for it. Who's first in chat? Looks like Soph. Soph, you're first in chat. Is this your first gold star? Congratulations. You get a gold star for being first in chat, Soph. Soph says, happy 4th of July, guys. It's the 5th of July in Australia right now. That's what happens when you live on the other side of the world. Should have been here last night. Then you could have told us last night that it was the 4th of July. Amanda says, hi, Untethered Live family. Good to see y'all. Happy 4th and happy Friday. I hope everyone had a good week. And hi, Jake. How are you tonight? Fantastic. Like Miss Piggy on prom night. Other than that, I got a fun shirt on and I'm happy. Amanda says, here's your gold star, so enjoy it. Put it up on your mantelpiece. And stare at it lovingly throughout the days. And Amanda says, hi, Soph. And oh, yeah, can you dig it? Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby, yeah. I can dig it. I've been working all day cleaning screens. I'm tired and I'm ready to rock and roll, unwind, and hang out with some friends. And have clean glasses on. Hang on, I'll fix that. It's not the best thing in the world, but it'll work. Can you do me a favor and hit these glasses for me? So I can change back into my regular pair. These are my spare pair and they look weird on camera. Thank you. Amanda says, hey, my band hammer is back, right? Did you put it back or did it come back on its own? It came back. Well, I guess YouTube got tired of everybody complaining about the name changes. Go figure. Don't know why they do things like that. They didn't do it. They didn't tell me when they were going to change it, and they didn't tell me they were changing it back. But congratulations on your band hammers. So, what are you doing this fantastic day? What did you do yesterday for 4th of July? We didn't do much of nothing. We plan on sleeping for 4th of July. Lots of it. Because that's what happens when you work around the clock. When you get a day, whether you're not expected to work, you want to go to sleep. That's what I want to do. But boy, do we have a lot of irons in the fire here tonight. We got guitars galore. I got 2 amplifiers I'm working on. They're getting ready to work on. I got some phone line I got to install. I got probably 20 guitars of some various state of repair or disrepair. Thank you very much. Much better. And I can see. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Still can't talk, but I can see. That's all that matters. Soph says, have you ever had one of those days when you just wanted to chill? Yes, every Wednesday and Friday. I named a show after it, Chill Stream. That's what I did on the 4th of July. I just chilled out all day, which was a good thing. Fab Daddy, what's up? Happy 4th. And yes, it is a good thing. So it's a great thing to be able to just relax and not have people try to throw you in some kind of camp or something like that. It's a lovely thing to just relax and be amongst friends. That's what we're doing here tonight. Fab Daddy, how you doing, buddy? Happy 4th of July. I'm glad you're independent. Amanda says, hi, Fab Daddy. Happy 4th. Yes, happy 4th. May the 4th be in May. It's July. You're a nerd. What are you saying? Fab Daddy says, I am great. Thanks for asking. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad you're doing great. I'm doing great too. I'm nice and cool here in the studio. We got a new air conditioner and it is killing it. It's very cold. I have socks on. No pants, but socks. It's nice. It's nice to not be burning up. And so far, the internet seems to be hanging out in excellent condition. That's good. Soph says, I'm doing awesome. I'm glad you're doing awesome, Soph. I am too. I have a lot of projects, and that's a good place to be. It's nice to be busy. Nice to have jobs. Nice to have something to do. Nice to be working. And I've got a couple of projects that have yet to happen that I plan on doing. I'm working on it. It hadn't come to fruition yet, but when I get to it, it's going to be fantastic. And I'm going to video it, so you get to see it happen. I have a commission. I'm going to build a Telecaster for a friend of mine. I have a friend who's in a wheelchair, and he plays guitar also. And right now, he's borrowing one of my Telecasters, and he loves it. I mean, loves it. It is like a dream to him. Well, the reason it's dreamy is because I set it up. It's just a Telecaster. I mean, there's thousands of them in the world. Mine's special because of what I did to it. And he can't have mine because that's my workhorse. That's what I use on stage. But I thought I would build him one so he could have one, and then he would just have something that he loves and wouldn't have to want mine. So I thought that was a good gesture, and I found a couple this week, and I'm planning on getting them in the next week or so. One of them, and then I'm going to do my thing to it. I'm going to Jakeify it. Which, by the way, if you happen to have an instrument that you would like to have Jakeified, you can contact me and I can get that happening. As long as you'll pay for the shipping, I'll do it for a nominal fee. And it'll be very cheap. And when you get it back, it'll have the mojo at 100. So that's what I do. I put mojo at 100. When I get an instrument, it's usually about 20% mojo. Because, it takes time to develop mojo. And if you're a guitar player, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, you don't. But instruments have mojo. There's a thing. It's magic. It has a life of its own. I don't know how to explain it. You just have to be a guitar player to understand. But when you come across one that's been on many, many stages and been in many, many crowds and, entertained people, it has a thing. It has a feeling to it. It's different somehow. I don't know how. It just is. And that's the kind of guitar that guitar players seek. They want that 1958 Strat. The one that's beat up and has been on stage with Merle Haggard. They want that. It's not just a, hey, cool guitar, I'd like to have that. It's I need to have that guitar in my hands. I need to touch it before I die. It's that kind of thing. Well, that's what I do. I take mojo and put it on the instrument. I can't tell you how I do that. It's a secret. But when you get it, it's mojified. Big time. All my guitars have mojo 100%. All of them. Except for that one. And I ain't got to that one yet. Instruments have a mind of their own, says Amanda. Sometimes, yeah. They definitely have a personality, for sure, of their own. I have at least 35 guitars. At least that's a modest number. And every one of them is different. Every one of them challenges me to play in a different way. When I touch it, I feel different. It depends on how I feel. It depends on the mojo. Mojo is very important in the music world. Fab Daddy knows what I'm talking about. Fab Daddy says, what's the chargers for a bowed up spruce top? Oh, what's the charges for a bowed up spruce top soundboard and a Chinese bowed neck? I can probably fix that. I don't know about, is the spruce top bellying? Is it sinking in or is it going up? Is it bubbling or is it dipping? The neck I can fix. Your saddle lifted, I can fix that. As long as it ain't sinking in, that means that the crossbars have failed and it's caving in. And that's a complete retop. I mean, I had to tear it. That would cost you some money. I could fix it for the bowed the neck is bowed or twisted. Right? You need to be specific. If it's twisted, it's going to take longer. If it's bowed, I can do it in an evening. I know you wrote bowed, but sometimes an old acoustic guitar will twist. I tell you what, take some good pictures of it and email them to me. And I mean pictures from every angle. Down the neck, up the neck, sideways, face on. Let me see the whole thing where I can look at it and see what's going on. And I'll give you a price. And it'll be cheap. It'll be a hell of a lot cheaper than if you send it to somebody to have it done, which is what you'll be doing. But I'm somebody special. I won't charge you like they will. I'll just basically charge you for my time. I'll do the work for free. Soph says, last week on Monday and Wednesday, I had to go to the doctor's and get my blood test done just to make sure that my thyroid is okay. Preemptive medical, I understand. Is it okay? It's not worth the fix. Well, why'd you ask? Sting, buzz, and natural distortion. I hear you. Why would you ask if it wasn't worth fixing? I'll fix it for you. Or not. Either way, you don't want to have a guitar that's touched by me and have my little Jakeified sticker on it. That's fine with me. And you'll regret that decision. And Soph says, my thyroid is okay right now, but I still have to have medicine for it. Well, yeah. If you have thyroid issues, that would be bad. It's a California guitar, so Amanda. I have California guitars too. All my Fenders are California guitars. Corona, California, to be specific. That's all right. What kind of guitar is it, Fab? What's the name on it? I do high dollar instruments and cheap ones, so it doesn't matter. Amanda says, yeah, but yours had sense enough to get out of California. Well, no, they didn't. I had to pay for them to get out. I bought them. They're slave traders. Fab Daddy says, actually, I think it's a Korea-made guitar. It's a 𝕂𝕠𝕇. I don't think I've ever heard of a 𝕂𝕠𝕇. But yeah, Korea makes some decent guitars. It's a little better than Chinese guitars. My personal favorite is either Indonesian or Vietnamese. I like those makers. Or Mexican. Those three are the ones that make the best types of guitars. I do have some Chinese guitars, but I don't care for it. I don't like the idea of it mostly. But I'm on an American kick now. I'm gonna start collecting old Peavies. American made, American company, quality instrument, and everybody's life has been touched by Peavey. If you've been a musician in the last 40 years, you've touched Peavey stuff. So it's worth the collecting. I own a lot of Peavey gear already, just as a matter of owning equipment. You have Peavey stuff if you own equipment, But I want to start collecting their guitars, the T60, the T15, the Mississippi Mustang, the Predator, the Raptor, the Falcon. Oh, yeah. They even got a set of drums out there I'd like to get. They didn't get very popular with the drums. For whatever reason, it didn't land. But they are great sounding drums. And they do exist. So I'd like to get a set. I guess that their bread and butter's always been amplifiers anyway, so guitars were just an afterthought. Well, we make amplifiers, we might as well make guitars too, 𝕂𝕕𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝 Amanda says we need a bigger house to accommodate Jake's guitar fetish. Yeah, we can live in an RV. We'll just use the house for the guitars. And that's all right with me. All I need is a bed and a TV and a coffee pot and a computer. I hope your fur baby handles the fireworks tonight, but it should be used to a horrible noise if it listens to Jake. That's harsh, Fab Daddy. Wow. Debbie says, hello, I'm late because it's my grandson's birthday. Well, happy birthday, Debbie's grandson. And happy 4th of July. And hi, Debbie. Go buy a storage container and turn it into a guitar area, says Amanda. And Amanda says, hi, Debbie, and happy birthday to your grandson. Did you hear Fab Daddy insulting me? He said I sounded horrible. He's not wrong. I can't even get mad about that statement because you ain't wrong. But there'll be no fireworks for the dog to be afraid of. There will be some for you to be afraid of. We do have a finale planned for this evening, this event, this spectacular, this extravaganza, this bizarre. And Debbie says, that's not nice, Fab Daddy. Amanda says Fab's just jealous. That's all right. I don't mind being called horrible. He's not lying. I do sound like a dead frog. I don't know if my voice is ever going to come back or if it's just going to keep getting worse. I don't have any idea. Fab Day says, if I tease you, it means I care. Oh, I know. I'm not worried. I don't feel offended in the slightest bit. I mean, people have paid me to make sounds, so I'm okay with them not liking it. Amanda says, yep, but Fab, can you make girls wet when you play? Jake can. Oh. I did not say that. So says, have you lost your voice again, Jake? I ain't never found it. It's been lost for about 4 years now. It just will not come back. I have various stages of better. And sometimes it gets better and sometimes it gets worse. But ever since COVID, it's been gone. I just can't get it back. And Debbie says, screaming during hot monkey sex probably is not helping either. The neighbors talk. How did you know I had monkeys? Fab says, I can flick a bean into wetness. So says, oh no. Yeah, that's the damage that was done to my vocal cords by COVID. I had the long COVID. And it ain't never got better. And I guess while I was sick, all the years of smoking and partying caught up with me, and it just won't recover. Go figure. But as long as I can make some kind of noise, I'll figure out some kind of way to entertain people. That's what I do. And Debbie says, I can name that tune in one note. I can too sometimes. Amanda says, oh. That's the note. That's the one she's referring to, I think. Anyway, I have got one of those headaches going on. I think it's because of spots on my glasses that are still there. Pardon me. Got to take the good old man medicine. Fab Daddy says, hitting that G note's powerful. Oh, yeah. I prefer B flat. Think about it for a minute. You'll get it. Amanda says, they are a figment of your imagination, Jake. No spots. Nope, I see 2 spots right there. And see, I use adhesive, spray adhesive in my job. And I work all day long spraying that spray adhesive, and it gets into my glasses. And they're plastic glasses, so it just kind of cakes on there over time. And you can't tell because it's like a clear coat, you know. So you can't really see it until it builds up. And man, before you know it, you can't hardly see nothing. And that will give you a headache. Having little spots right in front of your eyes that you can't see, but they're definitely blocking your vision. Anyway, I got a new guitar back here that I'm going to work on. It's a Mitchell, which is a house brand guitar for Guitar Center. They've been putting those out for about 4 years now, I think, 4 or 5 years. And they're pretty decent guitars for a house brand, as far as that goes. You know, it's Japanese or Chinese-made guitar, I mean. And it's a pretty decent instrument. I acquired 2 of them, a Mitchell and a Washburn, from a friend of mine last week. And I've got the Washburn finished, and it's playing, and it's a killer guitar. And I have yet to start on the Mitchell, but that one's going to be, it's a 24 fret, and it's a carved top, so it's got that kind of looks like a Gibson Les Paul on the body. How it has that carved top, but it's got a long neck like a Ibanez, and it's kind of shaped like a Paul Reed Smith. We got kind of that shape to it, swept back, heel joint and all that stuff. But it's going to be a cool guitar when I'm done with it. It's a little bit too heavy metal for me, so I'm probably going to sell that one. But who knows? It may work to have one of those in my arsenal if I ever want to pull out some, Five-Finger Death Punch or Slipknot or something. Fab Daddy says, Jake's voice is so good, they added the 8th note to the musical scale, the O note. Right? Amanda says, that's right, Fab. Aaron, what's up, brother? He says, I'm going to see fireworks, but I'm listening. You're going to see them here too, Aaron. We got fireworks on the show tonight. Amanda says, hello, Aaron. Nice to see you, buddy. I was thinking about you today. Hadn't heard a lot of you this week. I was wondering how you were doing. I'll be thinking about you guys when I'm off work. Aaron says, what's up? I've been here. I just been chilling. I hear you. I don't blame you. I wouldn't talk to me either. Hey, so cool. Thank you, Aaron. It's going to be a good show tonight. I got fireworks and everything. Favorite firecracker? M80. Easy enough, Fab Daddy. And Debbie says, Aaron is getting some good if he is seeing fireworks. He's getting some good if he's seeing fireworks. He might be creating the fireworks. Aaron says, I've been around. I've been here. Well, I'm glad you're here, buddy. I was just worried about you. Amanda says, Aaron, our names are back right again. I guess YouTube got tired of being complained at. Aaron says, I need to call you. Yeah, give me a holler. Not right this second because I'm kind of doing a thing, but give me a call. Aaron says, hey, I got my name back. Yes, you did. And Fab Daddy says, I like Black Cat fireworks. I never really got into the fireworks thing. Like I'd, go get some from the store or whatever, but there's people that get into real fireworks. Like they go down to the secret guy, and they buy all these weird, secret fireworks. I don't know anything about those things. I know what an M80 is and a bottle rocket and that sort of thing, but my neighbor gets out there in the yard. He's got the real fireworks like you see downtown. You go out there in the field and set them off, and they pow, real big fireworks. I don't know where you even get those. Kevin, what's up, buddy? He says, hello, Jake, and hello, everyone. Nice to see you, Kev. Happy 4th. Happy Independence Day, sir. Make America great again. Aaron says, I've been a little sick. Oh, no, that's not good. What have you been sick of? Amanda says, oh, no, Aaron. And hi, Kevin. And Fab Daddy says, mortars. Oh, yeah, the big ones. I don't even know where you get those. Kevin says, those are Class A fireworks, right? I just get the ones from the Indian reservation or whatever. I don't know anything about the real ones. Aaron says, it's okay, no worries. Good. I don't want to think about you being sick over there. And Kevin says, hello, Amanda. And Amanda says, big, beautiful Bill, MAGA. Yep, that went into effect today. It got signed into law. Passed. Now, let's see. He's been doing a bunch of talking. Now let's see him do some work. I'm all for it if some of the promises come true. He's been doing a lot of talking, a lot of selling. He's been selling that big, beautiful bill for quite a while now. He's got it. Everybody's on board. It's been signed into law. Now let's see him do some work for the country. Let's see the country get a little better. Prices go down and money be made. People ease up a little bit on the restrictions and whatever. It's time to earn that presidential spot there, Mr. President. Time to get some work done. Fab Daddy says, have you ever seen the largest firework? No. It's like a 3-foot diameter mortar, and it's impressive. I've seen big fireworks. I don't know if I've seen the largest one. I don't think so. Whatever they do downtown on 4th of July in Backwater, Snow Hill, North Carolina, I've seen that, A few pops and whizzes. I think one time when I was a little boy, we went to Disney World and I saw the fireworks there at the Magic Castle. That's the only real fireworks I've ever seen that I know of. Like impressive, done to put on a show kind of stuff. Other than that, it's just been a bunch of rednecks firing off fireworks into the sky, Some work, some don't. Some blow up and catch your pants on fire. Some guys just sit around a fire and throw 22 bullets into the fire to see which one can sit there the longest without panicking. Been there, done that. Kevin says, Class A requires a special license. Really? Interesting. And Debbie says, after a few pops, we all whiz. Right? Especially if they're well-placed pops. Oh, we talking about different things. Aaron says, what's up, Debbie? Anyway, are you guys interested in watching me build guitars? I'm asking because I'm thinking about filming it. But I ain't going to film it if nobody wants to watch it. Debbie says, nothing is up me right now. Easy, girl. Kevin says, hello, Debbie. And Aaron says, I love M80s. Me too. Debbie says, but thanks for asking, Aaron. Linda Davis is here. Hey, Linda. How are you, sweetie? She says, hi, all heart. I wasn't sure if you were going to be on tonight. Well, of course, I don't have a life. Fab Daddy says, Esparta, California had one hellacious firework explosion. R.I.P. worker. Oh, no. That's not good. You mean like an unplanned explosion, like they blew the building up? Amanda says, hi, Linda, hun. How you doing today, Linda? Are you having a happy 4th of July? Has anybody got their drink on yet? I am. I'm drinking high-octane coffee tonight. Kevin says, hello, Linda. And hello, Fab Daddy. And Aaron says, LOL, Debbie, you in the crown again? And Debbie says, hi, Kevin and everyone. Hi, Debbie. Linda says, I'm spending the night at my son's house, babysitting his dogs. All right. Has he got a comfortable place for you to sleep? Or is it one of those couch situations? When my mom came to visit me at my house, I would give up my bed and let her sleep in my bed, and I'd sleep on the couch. Debbie says, just Coke, no crown. That's a shame. Fab Daddy says, yep. It was a fireworks manufacturer that found a spark. Oh, no. Yeah, I can see how that would make a day go bad. We don't want that happening. And Linda says, I don't live an exciting life. I don't either. Believe me. I told my boss the other day I needed a vacation. He goes, oh, that sounds like fun. Where would you go on your vacation? I said, go to bed. What do you think? He's talking about going to Mexico or something. I'm going to sleep. That's where I'm going. I ain't trying to go nowhere. And Linda says they're out of town, so I get their bed. That's the way you go right there. Right on. Aaron says nothing wrong with that. And Debbie says, it's a shame, Jake. I'm going to fix that. Going to crack open some Crown Royal. Don't go too far now. Fab Daddy says, Kevin, good to see you. Aaron and Linda and Debbie and Amanda, same. Good to see you too, Fab Daddy. Nice having you here, buddy. Aaron says, good to see you too, Fab. But yeah, talking about working on guitars, there's only so much soldering and fitting things that people can handle, I would imagine. Getting older is getting old, says Fab Daddy. Yeah, it's getting old, ain't it, buddy? You got to be tough to get old. It ain't for sissies. You got to be strong so you can handle falling apart. And Linda says, I hear that, Fab Daddy. But I was thinking about, there's a desk behind this green screen that's got a bunch of stuff piled up on it. Thinking about cleaning all that out, getting that whole back side there empty, and then putting me a workbench up against that wall and setting some cameras up over top of it so you can look down and see what I'm doing and film it in real time while I'm working on things. Put that up as like a little feature. Linda says, I'm strong. I was too 20 years ago. I'm reminded on a daily basis that's not the case anymore, though. When I was 20, I could lift like 5 times my body weight. 4 or 5 times my body weight. And I was a little fella, so I always felt like I had to prove myself, so I was always doing way more than I should. Now, I get up to go pee in the middle of the night, and I'm not entirely certain that my legs will hold me up when I stand up. You have to sit there and carefully place your feet down, make sure you don't fall over. That's not the same guy. Debbie says, I was strong till I showered. Linda says, I may fall apart, but I always pull myself back up again. That's what you got to do. Fab Daddy says, Jake, I've gotten better with my tone deafness. Either that or my old ears can hear. My older ears can't hear the difference anymore. Right, that's probably what it is. Tone deaf is not a condition. It's a lack of knowledge. You can fix tone deaf. You have to train your ear. It may be that when you reach a certain age, you can no longer do that. I don't know. I know that starting young is the way to do anything because you can develop techniques and muscles and speed and things like that you can't do later in life. It just physically can't be done. But I don't know about the ear. I would think that if you spent the time, you could learn. I guess there's also such thing as people that just have no understanding of music, therefore they can't hear it. As for me, I'm relative pitch hearing. What that means is, as long as I have something to base it off of, if I have a reference point, I have perfect pitch. Like I can hit notes exactly on the mark every time, no matter what note it is, as long as I can hear a note to tell me where I'm at. Like, I can't pick an E out of thin air. I can't just go, here's an E. I can get pretty close, but I can't get exact on the note. But if I hear a note that's in that scale, that'll put me in context. That'll put me in the frame of reference. And then I can hit the E note, no problem. So there are people that are perfect pitch. Most people are relative pitch. And then there's other people that have no pitch, and they just can't tell the difference between noises. I can hear a vacuum cleaner and tell you what key it is. You know, the vibration, the sound, because or like a fan, like a fan has a sound and it's hitting a note. I can tell you what that note is most of the time. But some people can't hear that. I don't know if I understand that way of thinking or not, but apparently there are people that are tone deaf. But my guess is you can fix that. If you were actually tone deaf, you wouldn't even be able to talk properly. You'd sound like Boomhauer on King of the Hill. Linda says, I'm just deaf in general, right? What note are sirens? It depends on the siren. They're not all the same. But if so, probably a B flat. Also, it depends on if you're in England or if you're in America. Or if you're with the fire department or the sheriff's department. Those are different. I have selective hearing, says Amanda. Yeah, you hear what you want to hear. I have selective memory. Selective photographic memory. I remember what I want to remember. But that memory is getting old or it's getting full, one or the other. I don't know which, but I know that I'm having a lot of trouble these days remembering little simple things that I know. I just can't call it up. Like when I'm talking about something, I know the information. It's in there, and in an hour I'll have it. But right now, it will not come to my brain. I don't know if that's age or just I'm getting full. Need to delete some stuff or defrag or something. Linda says men and moms have selective hearing, right? Fab Daddy says, I blame the pot. I smoke. Why not? Well, that will affect your memory short term anyway. I don't know if it'll affect your long-term memory, but it'll definitely affect your short-term memory. And Linda says, it's a coping mechanism. I hear you. I try not to cope. I try to handle everything as it comes. I endeavor to not fret over anything. My whole goal in life was to not have any regrets and not feel like I didn't do something I should have did. I haven't always kept up to that, but that's the idea anyway. There are unfortunately some things that I regret, but it wasn't my doing. Things that happened that I had no control over. Some people made me regret some stuff. Congratulations to all the tip-based workers. Right on. No tax on tips. Bring it on. Now I can stop worrying about Biden coming after me for that less than $600 in my CashApp account, which I was told at the beginning of that administration under no certain terms that they had hired armed IRS agents and they were coming after that money. If you got $600, he said. 600? Really? You're going to come after somebody for that? I hope that Trump takes all of those 80,000 IRS workers that were hired, armed IRS workers. Why they got to be armed, I don't know. But I hope he turns them all into meter maids. Debbie says, my goal is to skid into home and at the end of the game, at the end of this game, skid into home plate. I got you. You will. I hear that you shoot yourself when you die. You'll have the marks to prove it anyway. My goal is to not die. I don't plan on dying. I think when my time comes, I'm just going to refuse. No, thank you. I'm staying here. Kevin says, my goal is don't die, right? I've thought about it. I really have put some thought into it. I don't think I'd want to live forever. I've thought about that, and I can only imagine about 300 years of stuff that I could possibly want to do. And after that, there's nothing left on this earth that I'd be interested in. Fab Daddy says, anytime the government gets involved, it's not going to end up good. Yep. Ronald Reagan said the 9 most dangerous words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Debbie says, damn, Jake, I meant slide into home. Patty says, what's up? Hey, Patty. Happy 4th of July. How are you? And Linda says, my goal is to die with a smile on my face. My goal is to die coming and going at the same time. That way they can write about me in the newspaper. He came and went at the same time. Amanda says, hi, Patty. Kevin says, hello, Patty. And Linda says, yippers. Right on. Yeah, I want to die. I just don't want to do it today. I want to see my father. I want to be in heaven with him and my mom and everybody else. But I don't want to do it now. I want to wait a while. Sorry. My phone is making noises. Debbie says, Amanda gonna have to put on her leather boots for that. Oh, that one, Jake. She's going to have to put on her waders. Definitely. I'm more focused on living anyway. There's a lot of things I want to do, hadn't done yet. And, you know, I'm being realistic. There's some things I'm not going to do, like making it. I'm not going to make it. I already know that. I knew that when I was 25. What do you do? When that's what you are, you just keep going, right? So I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep going. I don't plan on making it. I'm just going to keep going. So that's what I've done. Patty says, Miss Amanda, Mr. Kevin, happy 4th of July, my friends. Happy 4th of July to you too, Patty. I hope you're doing well tonight. It is a lovely night for a 4th of July. I can hear the fireworks going off too, by the way. Apparently some of our neighbors are shooting them off because I can hear the booms in the background. Either that or they're hunting in their backyard, one or the other. I'd say it's probably fireworks, though. Yep, it's definitely fireworks. Because there's a lot of little taps and then a boom and then a bunch of taps and then a boom and then a sizzle. Definitely fireworks. So, one of the things that I'm working on is I've been teaching myself over the years how to build guitars because my goal is to build a guitar from scratch. I mean, build everything that's in it. And you have to know some stuff. That's a skill, you know. That's not a thing you can just do. You have to really know what you're doing to get it right. And so over the years, I've been slowly but surely learning every little piece of the guitar and every little thing you can know about how it works and all of that stuff. Learning how to solder and learning how to wire and measure and all that good stuff. So I think I'm at that point now where it's time to try it. So I'm in the process of setting up a workshop outside or in here or somewhere where I can start that process. And one day, I'm going to have a guitar out there that I made. And if it's a good one, I'm going to sell it. Yes, electric guitar, Fat Daddy. It don't make much sense to build an acoustic guitar. Debbie says, that is my philosophy, like Francis. Out hoeing his garden. Francis was out hoeing his garden. What would you do if you knew tomorrow was your last day? And he said, finish hoeing my garden. Right on. Debbie says, St. Francis. Oh, I got it. Patty says, why President Trump sending working undocumented workers out of California and let crops go? Or is that BS? I don't know what you're talking about. So it might be BS. Why is President Trump sending working undocumented workers out of California and letting the crops go? My guess would be because of that undocumented part. If that's true. I don't know that that's true. I don't know what's going on there, but I think he's pretty serious about getting people out that are not supposed to be here. Undocumented is a nice way of saying illegal. They're not supposed to be here. So they're getting a ride home. I think the crops being involved is just a consolation prize. I don't think that's the purpose for it. I think that just may be what the situation is. To which case I would say to the Californians, start learning how to grow crops and not depend on Mexicans to do it for you. And Amanda says, Trump has a thing. If you're an immigrant worker, the land or farm owner can be responsible for them and they can stay and work. Okay, but see, I don't even know about that, but that sounds more like the Trump that I know. Fab Daddy says, I installed a toilet for my mother this morning. The old toilet was 12 inches tall. The new one is 14 and a half. That's a tall toilet. Has your mother got to tiptoe to get on it? I installed a toilet not too long ago myself. I don't think mine's 14 inches tall, though. Tell your mom she can get back up to it. Tell her the back of her knees touch the toilet. And get up on your tippy toes and just lean back. That'll get you in the right spot. Patty says, thanks, Miss Amanda. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. It don't sound to me like something he would do, But then again, I don't know that he would do it. ICE has a way of doing things on their own after he gives them the authority to do it. So I don't know. I mean, oh, she had a problem getting up from the 12-inch one. I got you. So it's a getting up problem, not a getting down problem. That makes more sense. Did you install her a handrail so she could pull herself up? That'd probably be more helpful. I mean, along with the higher toilet. And Amanda says, yes, ma'am, he was talking about it yesterday. Okay, so you do know about what she's talking about. I haven't heard. Handrail is there. Good. Good deal. John H., what's up, brother? We missed you the other day. How you doing? Hello, everybody. What I would do is that if there's 1 million of homeless who ain't working, give them the jobs, get them back on their feet. I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of homeless in California. That sounds like the plan. Remove the Mexicans that are illegal and put the homeless people to work. I bet that would work out just like you think it should, huh? Nope. Turns out there's a reason those people are homeless, and it ain't because there's lack of work. Kevin says, hello, John. And Amanda says, hi, Nugget. And Linda says, hi, John. And Debbie says, I heard that too, Amanda. If the owner vouches for the workers, they can stay. But I am sure there is more to it, like getting a green card or applying for citizenship. But I don't know. I don't either. Batshit Crazy says, Chief, what's up, Bat? Nice to see you, brother. Happy 4th of July. Amanda says, hi. Walter Davis is here. He says, good evening, all. Hello, Walter. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. I'm happy and I'm singing and I don't know why. But it's all right with me if you all get on your feet and listen to me singing with a tear in your eye. Walter says, good evening, everybody. Amanda says, it's farm and hotel workers, and they have to have no criminal record, and the farmer has to sign up for them, and Trump will help them get their green cards. Well, see, that sounds reasonable. Because it ain't the workers that Trump is trying to stop. It's the gang members and the criminals that are coming in here that we don't know who they are. They've been preaching this stuff on TV for years now. Everybody knows this. It's just the liberals that want to get on TV and whine about it, make it sound as horrible as possible. The truth is somebody does need to do something. At least Trump's trying to do something. Amanda says, hi, Walter. And Debbie says, if you're happy and you know it. Yes, I am. Amanda says, there's a video on YouTube about it all. Probably. I would guess so. Linda says, hi, Walter. And Walter says, hi, Jake, Linda, Bat, Amanda, Fab, John, Kevin, Patty, and Debbie, and Aaron. Clap your hands. Fab Daddy says robots need to farm. They're doing it already. Yeah, robots don't make good farmers. They don't seem to know anything about soil. Patty says gang members are not in the field working is where I think it's Dems propaganda. Right. Well, that's my point. I don't think Trump is after people that are trying to hold down a job. They might be here illegally, and if they get caught, they might get deported. I don't think that's who he's sending ICE after. I think he's sending them after the rough neighborhoods where the bad people are. And every now and then somebody might get swept up in that, but that's not the goal. I don't think he's trying to bother anybody that's trying to work and be honest and make a living, even if they ended up here illegally. But Amanda says he was talking about it in the press meeting at the Alligator Alcatraz video. Got it. Fab Daddy says, Walter, happy Freedom Day. Walter says, droids in Star Wars seem to do pretty good. Just saying. Well, it was in the script. And they were on wires and had little people inside of them. But other than that, I see your point. Fab Daddy says, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Something, something, something. Bobby McGee. John says, in Britain, the court have made it law that all these Palestine protesters are a terrorist organization, which they have been banned now. Fantastic. Fantastic. Linda says, I'm watching the fireworks from Davy's backyard. Nice. And Walter says, hey, Fab, happy Screw Authority Day. And Debbie says, I thought by now we would all have the Rosie like on the Jetsons. I thought so too. Doesn't seem to be working out that way. And Linda says, I love that song. As I pull my harp from my dirty red bandana, dusted off my faded blue jeans. Windshield wipers clapping time, and Bobby had her hand in mine. And Amanda says, LOL, Debbie, we are the Rosies. There's a whole lot of Rosie. Got a whole lot of Rosie. All right. It's 9:30. You guys want some fireworks? Let's go into the backyard, shall we? Into the pitch black void. Join me as we enjoy Independence Day. Nice. Isn't that pretty? We can enjoy the fireworks and not get a crink in our neck. Hello, Amy Elizabeth. Amanda says, we cook, we clean, we do the dishes and laundry. We are Rosie. Fab Daddy says, have you heard of the new theory that time is not linear but three-dimensional? That's not a new theory, and yes, I have heard it. Debbie says, light me up, Jake. Kevin says, there's a foreign workers program that allows people to cross the border and work and then return back over the border. Nice. John says, I wish everyone a happy Independence Day from across the pond as a British person. Well, you're American to us, John. We love you. Happy Independence Day to you too, sir. Even though it's from you, we're giving it back to you. Amy says, sorry I'm late. I was helping my other show. I see. Fab Daddy says, thanks, John. It's because of your king we got to party today. Amanda says, hi, Amy. Just in time for the fireworks. That's so pretty. Patty says, thank you, John, from across the pond. Debbie says, this reminds me of the submarine races from my youth. Really? In what way? Patty says, it's Patty. Linda says, hi, Amy. Amy says, I have 4 or 5 of the Bible studies posted to ℂ𝕚𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝. Thank you. Thank you very much. How you enjoying them? Amy says, hi, y'all. Kevin says, hello, Amy. Patty says, Miss Linda and Amy Elizabeth, hi. And Linda says, hi, Patty, smiley face. Amy says, hi, Kevin, Linda, Patty, and Nugget, and Amanda. And Debbie. Hi. Amy says, hi, Fab Daddy and Walter. Fab Daddy says, Amy. Debbie says, in what way the fireworks, silly? You have submarine fireworks and submarine races? Dennis Bigfoot says, hey, Jake and chat. Hello, Dennis. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Enjoy the finale. Amanda says, hi, Dennis. And Amy says, I'm enjoying the Bible studies. I started with Genesis. I think it's important to start from the beginning, and you are correct. It is. And I'm so glad you're enjoying them. Dennis says, hey, Amanda. Amy says, hi, Dennis. And Dennis says, happy 4th of July, everyone. Happy 4th of July, Dennis. Look at that. Wow. Amy says, hello to anyone I missed. And Dennis says, hey, Amy. And Debbie says, if the submarine races are done right, yes, there are fireworks. I'm thinking submarine races is a euphemism for something, but I'm not sure I'm getting it. John says, hi, Amy and everyone. Heart. Walter says, I'm in the middle of Leviticus right now. Nice. And Fab Daddy says, I dated a gal that was a firework. It started with a whistle and ended with a loud bang. I've been there. Amy says, my son is on call. He wasn't supposed to be, but the other guy mysteriously got sick on a holiday, but the boss said he'd get double for it. Right on. Yep, it's funny how people get sick when it's time to go party, huh? Debbie says, my husband used to like to go to the lake and watch submarine races after dark. Ah. I didn't know you could have submarine races. I thought they were incredibly expensive. Walter says, Linda, the emu got stuck in the garden today. I called the police to say if someone is missing one. And they came and got it. Right on. And John says, America, 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 fireworks in America. Whoa. Fab Daddy says, no tax on that overtime. Yes. Now all I need to do is get a job that pays overtime and I'll be set. Amy says, Debbie, I can see fire in the lake from my house. And Linda says, good thing, Walter. Them things can be mean. Especially if you take one of its eggs. I know from experience. Ah, got it. Debbie says, Jake, submarines are underwater. You can't see them, so you might as well. You know. I got it. Go down. Up Periscope. I got it. Amy says, who loses an emu? Call Liberty Mutual and Doug. I prefer that mayhem guy. You know the guy I'm talking about? That guy's wild. Amy says, fireworks. Nice. Walter says the cop was around an hour or so, and we were talking, and he said they were hiring, and Jake time in will transfer. The cop was around an hour or so. We were talking. He said they were hiring, and Jake time in will transfer. All right. Amanda says, LOL, Amy. Allstate. Aflac. Fab Daddy says, I wish I was young enough for overtime. When I worked overtime, I expected twice the paycheck, but only got a few hundred more. It just wasn't worth it. I used to have a job that Thursday morning I would hit overtime. I worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was all overtime, time and a half. I make killer money back in those days. Amanda says, up Periscope. Careful, it'll spit at you. Well, if you call it, it might poke you in the eye. Walter says, Liberty Mutual sucks. I had to sue them one time. Right on. Oh, y'all must be talking about a different Jake. Got it. Linda says, Jake has 2 more years to vest. Then he plans on moving to another department. Not this Jake. Got it. I was confused for a minute, but I figured it out. Dennis says that's because once you hit overtime, the taxes jump to 50% rate. Yep. Amy says, when my husband died, it was working 60 hours a week. Or I was working 60 hours a week because I didn't want to cope with the sadness. Now I need it and can't get it. That's usually how it goes, isn't it? And Amanda says, not anymore, Dennis. No tax on overtime. Yep, big beautiful bill fixed that. Debbie says, Amanda, have you guys seen Down Periscope? Best scene in the movie is the fart scene. I have seen it. That's the one with Kelsey Grammer in it, right? There's like 2 submarine movies. One of them has Kelsey Grammer in it. I think that's Down Periscope. Sorry, I knocked my ashtray over. Walter says, Delaware Township will take him. Our son, Jake. Oh, I got it. Fab Daddy says, all work and no play makes Jake a dull boy. Makes Jake a tired boy. My eyes are rolling in the back of my head now. I'm fighting to stay awake. I'm like dozing off watching the fireworks. Dennis Bigfoot says, so, if you got double before taxes, they are now taking half of it. So you don't get it, just more time in. And Linda says, we have a son, Jake. Ah. That makes a lot more sense. Walter says, our son is a cop. That makes even more sense. Fab Daddy says, sorry, Walter. April Rain says, happy 4th, everybody. Much love, heart. Hey, April, how are you? Happy 4th of July. Enjoy the fireworks, which are almost over. Dennis says, since now maybe it was like that. But it was like that. Yeah. Now maybe it was like that. Right. I think it's all going to change now. Walter says, our Jake ain't a dull boy. I think he was talking about me, Walter. Amy says, hi, April. And Amanda says, hi, April. And April says, hi, Amy. Lovely. Good to see you. Linda says, hi, beautiful April Rain, heart. And Walter says, hi, Amy and April. John says, my periscope don't work no more. Better get the engineers in. Get somebody in there to look at it. If it ain't working no more, that's a problem, buddy. You can't go to battle without a periscope. If you get my drift. Amanda says, my Jake ain't dull either. If he can stay awake, LOL. It's been a long week. I ain't gonna lie. April says, Amanda, much love. Hi, Linda, Walter, John, Dennis, and everyone. Kissy face. Kevin says, John, they have a pill for that. All right, that's enough fireworks. Let's go back up to the room. And here we are back in the studio live. I hope you enjoyed the fireworks. That was just for you guys. I stole that footage myself. Dennis Bigfoot says, hey, April. And April says, hey, I'm here, LOL. I'm glad you're here. Me too. Fab Daddy says, April Rain, hearty hearts to you too. Amy Elizabeth says, watching the old episodes, I noticed there was at least one troll per episode. April and Caucasian Sasquatch had the hammer. Yep. That was a long time ago. Now Amanda wields that hammer with expertise. April says, hi, Kevin and Fab Daddy. Good to see you all. And April says, thanks, Fab Daddy. Heart and hearty-eyed smiley face. Amy says, now Bible study, there are many more, and we have Amanda. Yes, I've gotten more popular over the years, but just barely. John says, hey, April, good to see you. Happy Independence Day, beautiful. Heart. Aw. Dennis says, yep, it has been a long week. It sure has, Dennis. I am, for one, glad that it's over, and I plan on getting some good sleep tonight. I haven't hardly slept the past 3 nights because I've been dealing with this weather and the congestion and all that stuff, so I've been up all night hacking and gagging and carrying on. And plus working and podcasting, I am looking forward to some sleep this weekend. But I got to cut some trees down and I got to do some yard work, so there's that too. That's going to have to be a tomorrow thing, though. I am done for today. April says, nice, Jake. Thumbs up. Thank you, ma'am. I thought y'all might like a little fireworks if you weren't out already seeing them. Kevin says, hello, April. April said, I read that one, sorry. Kevin says, hello, Dennis. And Patty says, Miss April, it's Patty. I'm on my son's phone. And Debbie says, thanks, Jake, for the fireworks. My pleasure. I enjoyed them. I hope you did too. Amy says, thanks for pirating the pyrotechnics, Jake. My pleasure. I wasn't going to go do fireworks, so I figured the next best thing was to steal somebody else's good time and share it with you guys. Fab Daddy says, Amy, did you watch the show where April and I made an appearance? April says, hi, Patty Love. Good to see you. And Dennis says, I got fireworks all around me. Beach people are crazy. Been going since dusk, 8:45. I can hear them shooting off in the background here. My neighbors out there in their field shooting off fireworks. They started about an hour ago. And Amy says, I haven't, Fab. I'm only watching old Bible study episodes. Yeah, Fab. How come you ain't watching old Bible study episodes? April says, Amanda is the bandhammer man. The bandhammer queen, sorry. She is that. Andy didn't have a sexy mustache, Amy, says Amanda. True. That was a new addition. And April says, thanks, John. Happy Independence Day. Fireworks and hearts. Hang on, my chat jumped. Amy says, I'm on episode 435, Fab Daddy. Yep. Wow. You've been killing it. Started on 422, didn't you? Yeah. You go. April says, we got them all around us too, Dennis. Still going off, right? And Dennis says, I'm going to bake an apple pie to celebrate the 4th year. That sounds delicious, Dennis. I love a good apple pie. I don't even think I got anything sweet to eat. I might have some ice cream. I might do some ice cream. Actually sounds pretty good. I'm glad you thought of it. And Dennis says, hey, Kevin. April says, hi, Debbie. Good to see you, love. I wore this shirt just for you, Amy. You said it was a fun shirt. I don't know what you think's fun about it, but here you go. Amy says, Jake's wearing the same shirt as in episode 428. I noticed. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. April says, apple pie, yummy. I have a slice. I'm about to go get it, LOL. Actually sounds good. Apple pie. See if it works like the coffee cup does.
No apple pie for you, ice cream.
Amanda says, LOL, Amy. And then it says, sounds like a war here, right? And Fab says, apple pie is American. It is that, I think. Amy says, I made a dark chocolate fudge cake in the crock pot with cream cheese icing. That sounds good, too. My boss brought me a piece of strawberry cake yesterday. And I didn't think I'd like it because that doesn't seem very appetizing. But it's actually really good. It had real strawberries in it and on top of it. Like she mixed it in with the cake, ground up, and it had blueberries. So strawberries, blueberries, some kind of, it was like cream cheese frosting, but it was sweeter and lighter. It wasn't actually cream cheese, I don't think. But it's a good cake. But it's no match for my honey's spice cake that's in there. That's good. Homemade. April says, same here for the fireworks. Is still going on out there. Patty says, Jake, have a potion apple cider vinegar with mother, 3 caps of honey, 2 teaspoons of lemon, and 2 lemons. Jake, have a potion apple cider vinegar with mother. I think I know what you're asking. Yes, I would try that. 3 caps of honey, 2 teaspoons of two teaspoons of what? And 2 lemons. Or is that 2 teaspoons of lemons? One or the other. April says, yummy, Amy. Fat Daddy says, don't watch old stuff. I barely have enough hours for the new stuff. Well, you know, it depends on if you want to learn or not. It's all there. Just saying. But you can wait. I mean, we're going to go back through it again. Debbie says, has anyone made the mock apple pie that is on the box of Ritz crackers? Probably not. I didn't even know they still made Ritz crackers. April says, I'll check it out, Debbie. Dennis says, yeah, but they are legal here. They are illegal here. But we live 30 minutes away from South Carolina, and they are legal there. I'm guessing fireworks, yeah. Well, I got the benefit of having big fireworks without actually having to buy big fireworks. I just had a video, and we watched it. And it's about the same effect, only you don't have to stand outside for 2 hours to wait for it to happen and then get a crink in your neck watching it. You can just look at your computer and get the benefits. Of course, you don't get to sit on the ground on a good blanket and let bugs bite your ankles while you wait and worry about people stepping on you. John says, I'm going to say good night. I had a busy day and I had some more chemo today, and it drains me. Thanks, you wonderful people. Heart, heart, heart. John, get you some rest, buddy. I enjoyed having you with me. I hope you're feeling better tomorrow and stronger. And we'll see you tomorrow for some politics where I'll be well rested and ready to fight. But until then, enjoy the evening. Happy 4th of July, sir. Amy says, yeah, I try to watch at least 3 a day. I read along with the Bible Aaron got me. That's fantastic, Amy. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being interested in what I do. It means a lot. Linda says, I've made the mock apple pie with zucchinis before. Nice. Amy says, good night, Nugget. Fab Daddy says, sweet dreams, John. And Linda says, good night, Nugget. Stay strong. You got this. Yes, you do. And you got us all here rooting for you, too, so. Debbie says, April, I have made it, and it does taste like apple pie. I was surprised. What do you make it out of? Ritz crackers? Amanda says, although I could make you cookies to go with your ice cream, you could. That would be good. That was your idea. I didn't ask for it, but I'll take it. Patty says, good night, Mr. John. Dennis says, good night, John. God bless you, brother. Dennis, what do you got going on tonight, sir? Fab Daddy says, warm cookies and ice cream. Sold. I know, right? It sounds delicious. Amanda says, I'll make you some strawberry cake, and it was probably Cool Whip frosting. That sounds like what it might have been because it was lighter than cream cheese. It was kind of Cool Whippy, so yeah, that's probably what it was. It was good, though, whatever it was. Amy says, Debbie, post the recipe on Untethered Live Facebook page. Right on. That'd be cool. And all the ladies could see who can make the best one. April says, mwah, much love to everyone. I'm going to say good night to see ya in the next one. God bless us all. April, God bless you, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. Get some rest. We love you. Hope you're doing well. Amanda says, LOL, Fab. And Dennis says, good night, April. And Linda says, good night, April, heart. And Amy says, here's the Facebook page link. Post your recipe on it. Fab Daddy says, till next time, April. May you be blessed. Aw. Amanda says, Fab, last time I made him cookies, I put them in the bowl hot, and they all stuck together, so he had a big cookie chunk. And I ate it by breaking it in little pieces and just shoving it in my mouth because I couldn't get a whole cookie. Angela Ashkins, hello, darling, and happy 4th of July. How are you? She says, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm here. Happy Independence Day, everybody. Same to you. Amanda says, hi, Angela. Angela says, that has happened to me more than once. I know, right? Fab Daddy says, hey, Angela. Ritz and cream cheese. Yummy, says Amanda. Weird. Angela says, hi, Amanda Hart. Amy says, hi, Angel. And Dennis says, hey, love you all. Panel is calling. See you at Bible study. God bless and keep you all. Thank you, Dennis. Go enjoy your panel and tell everyone the Untethered Live said hello. See you next time. Amy says, I buy the store brand Ritz crackers. And Linda says, hi, Angela. Wavy hand. Amanda says, good night, Dennis. Angela says, they are going right now. They're going off right now all over the neighborhoods around me. I have a 360 degrees view of them except for the trees. Well, then you get to see something better than I showed just a minute ago. We had fireworks here too. Angela says, hi, Amy. Hearts and kissy faces. And Linda says, good night, Dennis. Amy says, good night, Dennis. See you tomorrow, too, hopefully. Right on. Come join us and get an argument with us on politics. Angela says, hello, Linda. Heart. And Patty says, well, I guess it's over for me tonight. Thank you, Miss Amanda and Jake. I have had another blessed day on God's green earth. I hope I have made a difference somewhere. You make a difference here every time you come. Thank you for being here, and we love you. And get you some rest, Patty. Go take some pictures of that old guitar you got and send to me. I'd like to see that thing. Amanda says, good night, Patty. Amy says, I made my son fix dinner tonight. It was taco night. I bet. Sounds good. Sorry, my chat jumped again. Dennis says, it depends. Friday, Saturday, I go on panel on my buddy's channel. What channel is that? Linda says, good night, Patty. And Dennis says, good night, Amanda and Linda. Amy says, good night, Patty. I'm about to go to bed myself, I think. I'm drinking Tang. It's cheaper than soda, says Amy. I used to like Tang when I was a kid, but I guess they changed it or something because I've drank it as an adult and I didn't care for it at all. But when I was a kid, I loved it. It might be because I didn't have any reference to anything better. Now I'll just drink Mountain Dew and coffee. Angela says, please pray for my second cousin, Jeremiah. He had open heart surgery to replace his heart last week. Had to leave his chest open to wash out his lungs the next day. He has not woke up yet. Many problems. Father, we ask that you put your hands on Angela's cousin, Jeremiah. And we ask that you know all things and you have a plan for everything. And that we ask that you pull him through and guide him in his recovery. All things in your will, though, Father. And we hope that you bless the family and keep them all strong during this time of their need. Thank you, Father, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. I hope that helps. Put me on the spot like that when I'm dozing off. Angela says, he is on 40. He's only 40. Amy says, prayers for Jeremiah. Dennis says, I've been going live on my buddy's channel for almost 2 years. Just didn't tell you guys. It's usually dirty and drama stuff. Understood? I'm not opposed to dirty and dramatic stuff. I don't want it on here during Bible study, but other than that, I don't care. But enjoy. What's his channel, though? Can't very well shout him out if I don't know who it is. And you could shout us out over there if you wanted to. Maybe pull some of those dirty minds back from the brink. And Fab Daddy says, prayers, Angela. Angela says, thank you, Amy. It's getting scary for us all. Yeah. Gotta trust in the Lord, though. And Dennis says, sorry, Angela. I hope he pulls through. Prayers. And Linda says, prayers. Angela says, hey, Fab Daddy. I'm sorry I somehow missed your comment. And Dennis says, much love. I'm out. Peace, America. Angela says, thank you, Walter. And yes, Walter, he hasn't woken up yet.